Hi, Fessy here. Uh, how you doing? I haven't posted a video on my YouTube channel in a while, so I just decided to record a video of something that I've been working on for the past couple of days. I hope the audio is fine. I'm actually recording the audio with the phone because the PC's audio recording is not working properly. But one of my hobbies, or one of the hobbies that I took up is learning programming, basic programming skills. And the language that I took up is Python, programming language. Now I've watched a couple of videos in the past few months, even last year. But then the challenge has always been a project idea that I could use to practice the skills that I have learned. But recently I settled on an idea of a multilingual dictionary application, specifically an application or a dictionary application for English and Oshindonga. So after settling on the idea, I started designing the appearance of the application, otherwise known as the graphical user interface, or GUI. So this was the design. This is the design actually. This is the main window. So it has a number of widgets. Search box, button, radio button, radio buttons, labels, and text fields. But then there are other sub windows. For example, this window for updating English words, and then another one for Oshindonga words, and then we have the window for adding and updating definitions. But now to implement this appearance, I also needed to learn something called Tkinter, which is a Python package for creating a graphical user interface. It was something also new in addition to the general Python for me. So that was the second thing that I had to learn and practice in this project. But then I also figured that in order to record definitions, words and definitions, I needed to have some sort of a database. So that means I also had to learn about databases or database management systems, and the database management system language, the SQL. Sorry, my 6 o'clock alarm just went off. So that means I also had to learn SQL, which is the language for communicating with databases, and the database management system that I've chosen for this application is SQLite. It's actually readily available in Python, and it doesn't need any extra installations or configurations. So that was quite, I thought that was quite convenient for this application, and for this level of skills that I have, I didn't need anything too complicated. But now, with the idea of keeping or recording words and definitions in a database, I also need to design the database tables, because a database is all about tables. So this was the rough design of the database, it is not the actual implementation, because when I started coding, started having different ideas of what was likely to work and what wasn't likely to work. So I changed them a bit, but basically there are four tables. One table for English words, another table for Oshindonga words, and then two tables for definitions. Basically only separated based on parts of speech of the definition. So there's a nouns table, a verbs table, which record definitions for the words, definitions and examples for the words in the dictionary. So with the designs of the database and the design of the GUI done, it was then time to get into coding itself, writing down the instructions. So this is the code base or the source code. I write my code using Visual Studio Code. It's a nice editor, very lightweight and very convenient for my purpose. So this is the code. As you can see, the Tkinter module or package for graphical user interface, and the SQLite 3 for the creation of the database. And this first part, this sort of orange code, is the actual creation of the database, its tables and all that. So as you can see, create table if not exists Oshindonga. So this is the creation of the Oshindonga table. This one is for the English table, and these other two are the creation of the nouns and verbs tables. And then after the creation of the tables, there are a bunch of functions. A function for adding English words to the dictionary or to the database, another one for adding Oshindonga words, and then adding definitions, searching for words, searching for definitions, updating definitions, deleting words, deleting definitions, and all that. All these are just functions for performing the key features of the application. So if I just scroll down, okay, some of these functions are for creating the windows. For example, this is the one for creating the English window, or the window for adding and updating English words. So these are the buttons, the widgets, buttons, labels, and all that. So if I just scroll down up to the end, what you realize is that I've actually written over 1,000 lines of code for this application. But this needs to be refactored, which is basically to streamline the code, removing redundant code, deleting anything that is not needed, tidying up some functions, combining functions, and all that, and making it as streamlined as possible. Once I do that, the code will probably come down to 600 lines of code or so. But then the application also still lacks some features that I have in mind. So adding those features will increase the amount of code. So then it will go back again to probably north of 1,000 or so. So now with this code done, what does the application actually looks like? So what is the what does the GUI look like? So these are just instructions, but let's take a look at the actual application and see what these instructions create. So I'll just run the code here, and then the application should pop up. So this is the application. This is the actual graphical user interface. As you can see, it's not very much different from the design. In fact, the main window is exactly the same as the design. So with all the labels, the buttons, text fields, and so on, and the logo at the left hand side here. So this actually exactly as it appears in the design. So now the dictionary, the basic function of the dictionary is to search for definitions, and that should be done here at this section, where you can search for an English or an Oshindonga word, and then the definition will be displayed below here if that word is present in the dictionary and has been defined as well. So what do we have in this dictionary? Down here there are some words that I added to the dictionary. These are all English words up to here. So there are about 340. Some of them I have deleted them, so probably a little less than that English words. But for Oshindonga words, I've only translated a few of them. And as you can see here, there are only about 11 Oshindonga words. So any of the words, if I search for any words that is in this list, it should actually show that it's in the dictionary. But unfortunately, only two definitions. I've only added two definitions for testing and demonstration purpose. The definition for nurse, I believe, and newspaper. So if we search other words, we won't find definitions, even though the words are in the dictionary. But let's try searching some words. So what you do here is you just type the word. For example, let's type person. Now if I click search, the application complains. It says you did not select an input language. Select the input language and search again. What this means is that I'm trying to search a word without specifying whether it's an English or Oshindonga word, so the dictionary doesn't really know in which table to search. So let me say this is an Oshindonga word and see what it says. Oops, it says the word you searched for was not found in the dictionary, and this is because I'm searching it as an Oshindonga word, whereas it's actually an English word. So let's change that and say we are searching for an English word. So I say search. Okay, it appears that nothing happened, but actually something did happen. It's only that the word is not yet defined. That's why it says here no definition found. But it didn't complain to say, or it didn't indicate to say the word is not in the dictionary, because this one is present in the dictionary actually. Let me see. Because this one is probably in the dictionary. I thought I was searching for a word that is not in the dictionary, but let me check. It didn't complain, so that means this word should be in the dictionary. But that was actually not what I was trying to say. My bad. So let me search. Is there a person here? Oh, okay. So person is actually in the dictionary. I didn't know. But it's here, it's actually the last word. I think I added it when I was trying something out before I started recording. So let's try another word which is not in the dictionary. I don't know. What now? Let me say the word today. If I say today, okay, so this one says the word you searched for was not found in the dictionary. Okay, that's good. But let's try to search now a word that has been defined. And I said I defined nurse as well as newspaper. So let's search for nurse. Search for nurse. Boom. Okay, so I searched for nurse and then it displays a definition down here. So now this definition it still needs some working in terms of formatting and appearance. I need to work on how the definitions should be formatted as they are displayed. But what it does now is that it indicates the type of the part of speech or the category of speech, whether it's a noun definition or is it a verb definition, adjective, adverb, and so on. And then it displays the definition ID, the English word ID, and then also the Oshindonga word ID. So, but these IDs are more important. They are more important for searching through the database, not very much important in terms of displaying the definitions here, but I've just included them there so I know what is the ID of the definition if I need to search it. And they will be also important because if someone needs to update a word or update a definition, they would have to search for such with the IDs. But the other thing is that it starts with the English definition and then the English example and then Oshindonga definition and Oshindonga example. Now it's only that now we only have a definition for nurse, for noun, but otherwise if a word is defined as a noun, as a verb, and as an adjective, for example, then all definitions should appear here, categorized as nouns, verbs, adjectives, and so on. So we searched this one as an English word. Let me just clear this by searching a word that is not existing. But if we can also get the same definition if we search with Oshindonga word, which I believe is ompangi. This is correct. Okay. So if I search with Oshindonga word, boom, same thing happens. The definition comes up. So it doesn't matter whether you search with the English or with the Oshindonga word, the same definition will come up. So that's with the searching for definitions. I said there's another button for adding or updating English words. So this one is if you want to add a new word. For example, I want to add the word word. Then what I would do is just write the new word here. As you can see, enter the new word. I'll just say new, not new, let me try word. And then I'll say this is a new word, because you need to choose whether it's a new word or it's an update. If it's a new word, then you don't need to search anything else. You just type it and then you save. So I say save. Then it says the word word was successfully added to the dictionary. Now what if I try to add a word that is already in the dictionary? The design of this dictionary is that I've designed it in such a way that English words should never repeat. Oshindonga words can repeat, but English words should never repeat. So if I try to add another, let's just take a word from this list which we know exists in the dictionary. For example, there is assembly here. So if I take assembly and and try to add it to the dictionary as a new word, then it complains. It says error, assembly is already in the dictionary, because I've set it up that English words should never repeat. But what if we want to update assembly? Let's say the word is not assembly, it's supposed to be resemble. Then we need to search for this word using its ID, and let's take its ID here, and its ID is 305. So we have to search it with its ID. We search it with its ID. I said it's 305, and then okay, actually there's no, is there a search? Let me see. I'm not quite sure how I implemented this one. What if I try to search? Okay, it says word not found. What did I do? My goodness. Okay, ID of the word to be updated. Enter the new word. Let me see. Assembly. Oh my god. I just wrote this code within the past weeks and I've already forgotten how they're supposed to work. Okay, never mind. Okay, let me see. I need to... Okay, good. Okay, what it does is that if you are searching for a word to update, you need to select update here and then search for the word, and then it returns the ID of the word down here, and then you can modify it. We said this one should be resemble, so resemble, is this the correct spelling of resemble? Okay, so then we modify it to resemble, and since it's IDs here, if we try to save, then the system will not complain. So save, and it says the word was successfully updated. So now if we try to add assembly, now it should not complain because assembly was replaced, and now it won't be a duplicate anymore. So I said assembly, new, save. Okay, the word assembly was successfully added to the dictionary. So now we have assembly and resemble in the dictionary. So that's that with adding and updating English words. So with Oshindonga words, now with Oshindonga words is that I've designed it in such a way that you can only add an Oshindonga word if an existing corresponding English word is in the dictionary. So if you try to add a word, let's say okay, enter a new Oshindonga word. If you try to add Oshindonga word without specifying the corresponding English word, it will not work. So it says English word ID is not provided, because we need to provide an ID of the corresponding English word to which this word will be linked. So I know we don't have soap on the list, but let's try to search another word, which is let's try to get, for example, atmosphere. Okay, atmosphere has the ID number 315. So enter the corresponding English word. So we search atmosphere, you search, and then it says the ID of atmosphere is 315. So this word has been located in the dictionary. So now we can provide the Oshindonga word, which is Ewanganjo. Now if we try to save, I believe it won't complain. Good. So it says the word Ewanganjo was successfully added to the dictionary, and it's linked to its English corresponding word. Okay, updating an Oshindonga word is the same as updating an English word. What you do is but for this one you basically search for the ID. You search the word with an ID. Let me say, for example, ID number 10. ID number 10, and then you search here, and then it displays the word down here that the word to be updated is Oshindonga. So, but I don't wish to update this word, but if you type another word here and then you click update and then save, it will change this word, this ID to the new word that you have entered. Let's take a quick look at the definitions window. This is the window for adding new definitions and updating existing definitions. If you are searching, let's try to add a new definition. Now on this one, there are a couple of things that I still need to change, because currently if you need to add a definition, you need to search an Oshindonga word using the word itself, which is not proper, because if, for example, I'll search for Omudengi Ngonyo, and okay, so I searched for this word in order to define it. So it's returned here. The word Oshindonga Ngonyo was found in the database. Continue defining it below. Now the reason I'm saying this is not the correct way of searching for a word to define is that if, for example, there are more than one word Oshindonga Ngonyo in the dictionary, in the database, then this search will only return the first found record. But maybe that is not the one that I want to define, and the system has no way of accessing the second record, because I've only programmed it to return one word so that it can be defined. So now the change that I'll implement here is that the words should be searched with an ID. Oshindonga word actually should be searched with an ID so that it returns the specific word that the user wishes to define. And then the other word is that the other thing is that it should actually return both the English and Oshindonga words, so that the person knows that the corresponding English word is this and the Oshindonga word is that. Because now I only know that the word is Oshindonga Ngonyo that I'm defining, but then what is the corresponding English word? What if Oshindonga Ngonyo has two different English meanings, corresponding English meanings? So those are some of the changes that I will have to implement in my next round of editing. But let's just define this one quickly. Now, I know the corresponding English word is boxer, but now how do I even define boxer? Oh my goodness. Can I just search for boxer's meaning up here? So I'll just search for boxer meaning, because I don't know, I'm not good at defining words. So it says here, a person who takes part in boxing, especially for sport. Okay, I'll just copy that definition and enter it here. So this is the English definition, and then you need also to enter an English example. So let me just say, what do I say? Messi is a terrible boxer. All right, whatever. And then down here we provide the Oshindonga definition. And how do I even define this? To Dana Ogonyo. Okay, I don't know. Dungoka And then we provide a corresponding example in Oshuambo, which would be, I don't know, how do I say a terrible boxer in Oshindonga? What do I say? Let me try. Fesi omdengingoyo wa fede. Does that make sense? I don't know. So now with the definitions and examples entered, now before you save this new definition, you need to indicate that it's a new definition, and then you also need to specify the part of speech, and we know this one is a noun definition, so we choose noun and then we say save. So it asks here, you are about to add a new definition of and to nouns category. Click yes to continue or no to modify your submission. Now there's something that is not working out as I intended it here, because it's supposed to display the English word and the Oshindonga word here, but in quotation marks, but they are only empty quotation marks. So something is not working and I need to fix it later. So, but if I say yes, it returns definitions successfully added to the dictionary. So now if we go back to our main window and search for boxer, boxer, we specify that it's English, boom, the definition is displayed down here. So that is working properly. The other thing is that the state, what is this now? Let me just, okay, the other thing is that you can also modify an existing definition using the same window. And if you are modifying a definition, what do you need to search with here? Let me see. Okay, you need to search with with the definition ID. And now I want to delete that definition that we just entered because it says that I'm a terrible boxer. I want to delete it because I'm not happy with it. Delete it. Okay, no. First we need to do not delete, but first we need to do update. Delete is with a different button. Update is the one with this button. But I want to update the definition for newspaper. A newspaper has the ID number 2, and when you are updating a definition, you need to, even when you are searching, you need to provide, you need to show that you are searching for a definition to update, so you do update. Otherwise, if you don't do update, then instead of searching for a definition, it will be searching for a word to be defined, a new word to be defined. And then in addition to selecting definition, selecting update, you also need to specify the table, whether it's a noun table where you are searching the definition or the verb table where you are searching the definition. And like I said, all the definitions that I've entered so far, they are all under nouns. So I select noun and then I search. So you see now when I searched, the definitions returned are populated in the fields here. And then here it says definitions of newspaper and Oshindonga were found and populated in the fields below. Edit the definitions and click save. So the only update that I'll do here is to add some more examples. Let me add examples. For example, I will say, bring me a newspaper at the service station. From the service station. Is that right? Please bring me, let me just say, please bring me a newspaper from the server station, and then I also add a corresponding example under Oshindonga. So I say Randiranje Oshifokundane Pomaholi. So now we have added more examples. Now we can save this update, and we just make sure that the correct table is selected and the correct operation is also selected here as update. Otherwise, if we select the wrong table, for example verb, let me try to save. I don't know if I have written an error pop-up for that, but let me try. So I'm trying to save this update to a wrong table, and then it asks me for confirmation, and I say yes, and it actually says definitions successfully updated to the dictionary. So that is another bug that I will have to fix, because it really supposed to raise an error there, like it's supposed to return an error there. I don't know. Let me try to search. Let me try to search for newspaper and see if that definition has been updated. Newspaper, search. Okay, we see that it's still returning the old definition under noun, which means that update is bogus. It's not a real update, but I need to catch it and fix it later. But let's try to update. Need to update this properly. Damn. Okay, let me just search it quickly. To search, then we add those two example definition examples of usage. Please bring me a newspaper from the servers. What is the server station? Okay, what did I even change here? Let me just maximize it. Okay. Randiranje Oshifokundane Pomaholi. Okay. Okay, this time I'll update to the correct table, which is nouns. I will save. It asks for confirmation, and I say yes. It says definition successfully updated to the dictionary. Okay. And if we go back here and try to search newspaper, okay, this time I'll search the Oshindonga version. Oshifokundaneki. Wait, not Oshi. Wait. There's actually a misspelling here. Oshifokundaneki, search. Boom. Okay, so now it returns our updated definition with two examples in both languages. So that is working properly. So finally, let me just demonstrate the deletion of definitions. This one is for deleting words, but let's assume it's working properly. But let me demonstrate deleting a definition. Now, if you are deleting a definition, you need to search with the ID of the definition, and you also need to specify the parts of speech. So I want to delete that definition that says that I'm a terrible boxer, and I believe the ID is 3 and it's in noun. So I say search, And then it says the definitions selected for deletion are for the pair, boxer, and on the new. So this is good. This is really good because it says it specifies the pair that you want to delete, and you just need to confirm that it's the right one. So I go ahead and say delete. Ask for confirmation again. I say yes, continue, and definition successfully deleted from the dictionary. So if I go back here and search for boxer, it shouldn't return anything. Boom, it says no definition found. So far the features are working almost perfectly, although there are some more work to be done, and that will be my baby for the next couple of weeks. But obviously some of these parts shouldn't be in this type of application. For example, this one for adding, updating words and definitions. But this one I included them because the idea is to implement this application as a web application, whereby registered users will be able to add and modify words as well as definitions, and then this Windows application will be streamlined to be just the normal application of just searching for definitions. If I don't lose interest in this application, I hope to post an updated version of it in the future. Otherwise, thank you for listening. I'll put an update. I'll put a link in the description below to the GitHub repository of this code, source code or actually of this whole project, and I'll also put a link to the blog, to the accompanying blog of this video. Until then, ciao.